What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel. Lonnie from FlightSim Gaming. Today we're doing another flight here down in good old Canada. We're flying in the Fenix Airbus A320 with Air Canada. And we're flying from Montreal over to Toronto. It's a real-world flight flown by Air Canada daily. Whether it's in the A320, a MAX, I believe they fly even some of the E-Jets. Call signs up top for today's flight. It's Air Canada 405. Air Canada Rouge also operates this flight as well. But we are here. We're with Air Canada. We're at gate 48. And this flight's about an hour in the air. About an hour and a half block time. So pretty short flight. And then from Toronto, we are going to hop out to Winnipeg. We are doing a... For those of you just tuning into the... I guess to the channel on this video, we are basically flying across Canada. We started in St. John's. And we're making our way all the way out to the west coast now. In the previous video, the localizer did not capture correctly with this aircraft. I believe there has been a fix through nav data. There's an update for their Fenix package, so we'll have a look at that. I did do a practice flight with FSI panel, sorry, a practice landing, and it seemed to work. So hope for the best. We are departing off of runway 24 left here, and we are expected to arrive on 24 left back in Toronto, but obviously anything can change. But anyway, we got GSX loaded up here. Let's jump inside the aircraft and let's get everything all situated inside here. First things first, make sure we load the passenger. The passengers are already boarding. Sorry, we got to load up the weight and fuel. Come over to the Fenix tab here. We are going to import our flight plan. Units mismatched. Let's have a look at that. Yes, they were. This happens from time to time. I'm not exactly sure why. But if we come back over here, we are now in KG. Beautiful. We'll go ahead and re-import. It'll re-import it in kg. Mass and balance tab. We'll go ahead and load the aircraft. Once we load the aircraft, I believe the jet weight is going to disappear. Maybe that. There we go. Knew it. And we'll make sure to bring that back. Fantastic. Fuel and weight is loaded. We'll come over to the FMGC here. Just have a look at our active nav data here. As you can see, the dates are active. Come over to the ATSU tab. And we'll flight init request. Fantastic. We'll come over to the init tab here. We'll init request. Beautiful. Call sign Air Canada 405. Cost index of 10, and we're climbing up to 38,000 feet as per sim brief. Make sure we line the IRS. If we come over here to the init page here, 57.9 and 30.9. I must say, performance is absolutely dreadful at this airport currently. A lot of people complaining about performance drop with the new sim update 14. It's been a while since I've been here, but you know, I highly don't doubt that whatsoever. Anyway, we're departing off of runway 24 left on the Montreal 2 departure. We'll insert that there. Back in Toronto. We are expecting the Ragid 5 for the ILS 24 left. Transition Tourney, we'll insert that. Fantastic. We'll come over to the perf tab here. In Montreal, expecting 24 left. It's dry. We'll load this. Flap config. We'll do a flaps 1 config. We'll sync the live weather. this has been an issue for whatever reason. Populating this weather information here has not been accurate. Come over to the weather tab here. So we have the winds are 160 at 8, and it's 7 degrees, and the altimeter is 2976. So we have +7 and 2976. Plug that in there. We'll do 7 point. See if 7.0 will change. No. Oh, 7 maybe? 7 degrees. There we go. Plug that in. And we'll calculate. 050 at 12. I don't think that is correct. It's 160 at 8. One 143 on RV speeds. Transition is 18,000 feet. Flaps 1/down 0.2. Flex to temp 68. That is all plugged in there. Fantastic, fantastic. We'll have a look. We'll brief our departure momentarily here. Make sure we are on in reporting. 2976. Looks like it's starting to rain now, so we'll have to possibly reconfigure our takeoff briefing, but we'll see. We'll leave it for now. Initial climb will be 5,000. We might as well just put up 38,000 feet. And we'll get our fuel pumps on, and APU lead can come on. Beacon light, we'll throw that on as well. And we will prepare for pushback.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
I wanted to initially get this flight out this past week. I was having issues with this aircraft and the localizer not capturing. I just didn't want to put it out. I had a workaround for it. I was able to remove the Fenix package off of the Navigraph app, or the I think it's the FMS data app, or whatever it's called, and it seemed to work. Fortunately, there has been an update for that, so here we are back in the aircraft. And the rain looks like it's coming down pretty good. It's raining inside the cockpit. It's not really raining outside the cockpit, even though I don't know if it typically does.
Locking gear.
You can see the performance drops down to about 20 FPS when panning around. I know this airport had some scenery issues with performance, but definitely pretty stuttery. It should clear up once we hit cruise, or once we start, I guess, departing away from this airport. You'll see a massive performance. And we are going to go nose left, tail right.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes released. Engine start switch over to start. We'll go ahead and start up engine number 2. There's a Silver Airways ATR over there. Come back inside. Engine number 1, we can go ahead and start that one. This airport has to be optimized. I haven't flown here in the 737, and I'm sure the performance is better because, you know, Fenix definitely has performance problems in comparison to other aircraft.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brakes set.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Two good engines. If I come back into the perf tab here, we got to set our trim to down 0.2. But we'll come up top here. We'll get our taxi lights on. We can get rid of the APU. Engine start switch can go over to norm. We're going to go flaps 1. Ground spoilers armed. Max auto brake. And down 0.2 on this guy. Maybe somewhere there.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's open up Navigraph here. We'll have a look at our departure. We're taking off from 24 left here. Basically, it's going to be runway heading and expect vectors. So climb heading 237 or is assigned for vectors. Maintain 5,000. We'll disregard that. We're climbing up to 38K. Sorry, 38,000. Weather information here. You can see the winds are 160 at 8, overcast at 2,500, light drizzle, mist, 7 degrees, altimeter 2976. And that's basically what we look like in terms of our departure. And our taxi routing, we're just going to go, we'll go apron over to Alpha 4. Over to, make a left on Alpha, and we'll take Alpha all the way to the end here and hold short at Alpha, runway 24 left. And that's about it. All is well. Parking brake can come off. We'll go ahead, take off, config. Beautiful. Make our calls up top. Make sure we clear this overhead panel. Everything is off. We'll throw our wing lights on too. No, we don't. We don't throw our wing lights on. Wing lights come on, I believe, at the runway. I believe there are 2 sceneries for Montreal. I'm going to say MK Studios is one of them. The other one I think was, I forget who the other devs were. But I'm curious to know in comparison who is the who has the better airport in terms of performance. A lot of drag with this aircraft right now. I'm not too sure. I feel like this aircraft has a lot of drag right now on the taxiways. Don't forget, ladies and gents, if you're enjoying the content, smash down that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Almost at 1,000 subs on the channel. Just want to Take the time to say thank you to everybody who comes out to support the channel. Without y'all, none of this could ever possibly happen. So thank you. This should be Alpha 4. We'll go ahead and make a right, and then it's a quick left onto Alpha. We'll make sure to get down this taxiway. I feel like there's just a lot of drag holding this aircraft back at the moment. If I go to idle, we could be climbing up on a hill here on the taxiways. I'm not too sure. Definitely feels like the brakes are locked on here. One thing I'm quickly going to check. Let's just make sure we don't have... Our brakes are not being used. Probably a Fenix problem. We'll see. I had the mic there muted again. So yes, after this flight, we are doing a flight from Toronto over to Winnipeg, and then Winnipeg over to Calgary. Initially, I wanted to squeeze in a flight from Toronto over to Thunder Bay, but there are no flights that we could do in the A320 from Thunder Bay over to Winnipeg, even though Air Canada Rouge does operate weekly flights from Toronto to Thunder Bay. But we couldn't really operate a flight out of there to Winnipeg. It's done in the Q400 through WestJet, but we don't have one, so suppose it is what it is. Quite the long taxi here. The weather is always terrible out here in Montreal. They definitely see a lot more snow than we do in Toronto. The past week they got hit with, I think, 30 centimeters of snow. So it's nice to see that the weather's starting to warm up. Not that it's going to get any better going into Christmas, but personally for me, I hate the snow. There's that Bombardier hangar off to our left there. I'm not sure if that's where they build some of the aircraft. I believe it is. I do know Bombardier is based out of Montreal. That's where they're building some stuff. Could be done at Mirabel too. Mirabel is another airport just outside of Montreal. Get the rest of our lights on here. You can hear how much throttle input is put into those engines in the aircraft. Speed is diminishing. Alright, perfect. We'll hold about right here. Fantastic, and let's get on out of here, shall we? Throttle's up. 40-ish%. Flex set. I can already feel that wind. 80 knots checked. And V1. And rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. We'll pitch for climb. We'll follow these flight directors here. Throttle's over to climb, we'll pitch down, we'll speed it up. And we'll go flaps clean, disarm the ground spoilers. Throw it in autopilot. And we'll let this sucker climb out. And we're going to proceed direct bob key. Almost had a breakout come out there, but that is okay for now. You're not going to see much weather, or sorry, much ground as we fly on out of Montreal. There's a slight little breakout there. Fantastic. Nasty weather out here. Hopefully in Toronto we're not going to be expecting that same weather. I think the winds are much calmer down there. Coming up on 10,000, I believe. Kill the rest of the lights. Aircraft will now pitch for cruise. And then reclimb back up to 38,000 feet. About another 20 minutes until top of climb here. Alright, ladies and gents, we're just passing 12,000 feet. I'm going to take the aircraft up to 38,000 feet. And I'll catch y'all on the descent into Toronto. Enjoy the rest of the video, ladies and gents. Peace! What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the video. Currently on the descent into Toronto. We are still expecting the ILS 24 left approach coming into Toronto, and as you can see, weather looks semi-decent as we are descending down for the approach. Now, we'll open up Navigraph here. We'll have a look at what we are doing. We are on the Rajid 5 arrival for 24 left. We're coming up on Rajid right now, and then we have to be at 7,000 at 220 knots by Denka, which we have programmed already in the aircraft there. We are descending down to 7,000 feet. And then we have our approach here for the ILS. And we have our nav frequency already set with our minimums. And the wind information is 230 at 11 knots. Broken clouds at 24,000 and 4,500 feet. It's 5 degrees currently. Altimeter 2983. And we are expecting gate 137 at Terminal 1 in Toronto. That's where the rear-wheeled aircraft deboarded from. So somewhere over here is where we are to end up. Coming up on 18,000 feet now. So we'll go ahead and 2983 is plugged in, left, right side. I've already inputted our information into the box here. 2983. That has changed, and 5 degrees. And the wind 230 at 11. Make sure we update this as much as possible. Fantastic. We are doing a flaps 4 config for landing with auto brakes set to low. And definitely it looks a lot much better out here. You can actually have some visuals as we see Lake Ontario out to our left wing there. No snow here on the ground in Ontario. Sorry, I guess this part's of Ontario. We definitely don't have any snow in Toronto. Northern Ontario definitely gets hit a lot worse than we see it over here in Toronto. But, you know, we don't get that lake effect snow anymore for some reason. Which is good in my opinion. I don't like the snow, so I don't mind it whatsoever. Hopefully we'll get a nice view of the downtown Toronto scenery. I do have some Samsung 3D for Toronto. It's not bad. It's definitely updated from the Bing maps that are integrated into the simulator. They've updated a lot of downtown buildings, which is nice. And performance is actually pretty good. So no effect on performance with that. And I do know Fly Tampa, they've just released an update for Las Vegas, where they've added the sphere and some other additional things within their scenery. They did say on their Facebook profile that, well, somebody had asked when will there be an update for Toronto, and they said there's a big update coming for Toronto, and it's next on their list. And we are to expect that sometime in the new year. Can't wait for that. It is a little bit outdated. But yeah, so coming up on 14,000 feet. Again, we are expecting the aircraft localizer to get itself fully established this time. It was not centered with the runways. It was an intermittent problem with the aircraft. It didn't happen at all airports. But yeah, there was an update with the data manager for the nav data app for the Fenix, only for the Fenix. So make sure if you guys are having that issue, go check that out. It is updated. The scenery definitely looks pretty green for the time of year. I don't have AccuSeasons. I did not purchase it because there were mixed reviews with it. One of them being, I guess, any type of vegetation done at any airport scenery. I don't think AccuSeasons updates that, which in my opinion makes sense, but still looking at getting it. We'll see what happens. You know, other than the snowfall, there is no real season change in the simulator. Everything looks pretty green as if it's still summertime. Anyway, coming up on 11,000 feet, the aircraft should start to slow down momentarily. Don't forget, ladies and gents, if you're enjoying the content and you're liking the channel, smash down the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you have not. You're almost at 1,000 subs. Not too far from that. And 10,000 feet coming up. We'll go ahead. Landing lights can come on. Landing system guidance can come on. We'll just make sure nav frequency is programmed. 1195 is set. We come over here. One thing we can do is we can add a fix, our fix info. We can just plug that in. Radial of 237, and we'll do 10-mile fix. We'll plug that in, and then we'll do another one. For a 5-mile fix. Those are plugged in. There's our rings. $10,000 feet, sorry, 9,000 feet. And we should get a beautiful downtown scenery once we get up there. I believe that is downtown Toronto out there. This looks like the Toronto Islands. From 7,000 feet, we'll just go ahead and bug in 3,000. Aircraft now descending, leveling off at 7,000, and we are slowing down to 220. Probably about 30 miles out from the airport, exactly 30 miles, so no need to adjust any speed or add any flaps as of yet. "22 miles out." Localizer is there. Let's go ahead and we'll arm Loke in the approach. I know we're slightly early. Some buildings populating in there that I believe is downtown Toronto. Hard to tell from this distance. I'll go ahead and we'll activate the approach phase. Not sure why the aircraft decided to speed up there. Yoke is captured, waiting for glide slope to come in. There's that beautiful downtown Toronto skyline. Glide slope coming in. We're gonna go flaps 1. We'll arm the ground spoilers. I believe this is Yonge Street over here. Ten miles out, leveled off here at 3,000 feet, waiting for the glide to come alive here, and it is. We'll quickly brief our missed approach here. Missed approach, climb heading 237, climb left turn to 3,000, heading 159, intercept outbound VOR radial 189. Beautiful. Glide slope alive and capturing. We'll go flaps 2. Let's turn the rest of our lights on here. Glide slope captured. And we'll go ahead, gear down. And we'll go flaps full. I believe this is Downsview. I believe. Could be wrong. Alright, we got gear down 3 green. Flaps are set. We have our ground spoilers armed. Auto brake set. All of our signs are on. And we'll let the aircraft do its thing. I believe this is Weston Road coming up here. Crossroads. Yes, it is. Shout out Weston Road. That's the Canadian Superstore. Having a hard time seeing. Looks like Yoke is captured. I can see the runway threshold lights, but I cannot see the actual runway. One thousand check. Some trees here, I don't know why. Those trees shouldn't be there. And runway in sight. My aircraft. Getting a little balloony here.
100 above.
Not stable.
Minimum.
Continue.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 10, 5.
Move down gently. Reverse coming out. Just want to get her down on the ground. 80 knots. Check. Slam on the brakes and vacate here. Ladies and gents, welcome down to Toronto. We're going to cross 24 right here. We're going to get on to Charlie. Not the best approach. Go ahead, clean up the flaps. Get rid of the ground spoilers. Performance. Stuttery. Very stuttery. Taxi lights coming on. We'll go ahead and spool up the APU. We're on Charlie right now. We're going to take Charlie over to Alpha. We'll hang a left onto Alpha. To the apron. Definitely got a little balloony there on the approach. Definitely did not make up for it on the landing, but hey. It's part of flight simming, right? We're on the ground, we didn't tip. I'll take it. Losing some speed here. Make sure we speed up accordingly. This should be Delta. Sorry, I lied. It's Bravo. The next one should be Alpha. And we are taking Alpha all the way down. It looks like to Pier E at Terminal 1. Alpha Kilo is where we're getting off at. Gate should be off to the right over here somewhere. It's very hard to keep this aircraft straight on this taxiway right now, doing about 18 knots. It wants to give it a lot of right rudder here. We're looking for gate 137. It'll be off to our right. That's where we want to go. Let's get rid of our taxi lights here. Go ahead, park it right there. APU bleed coming on. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and kill the engines. Engine 1 and 2 can come off. Fantastic. Come up top here. We'll kill our seatbelt lights. Fuel pumps can come off. And request deboarding. Not sure if this jetway is going to attach. I find some jetways here in Toronto don't attach for some odd reason. Let's see if I can toggle the jetway through here. There we go. And there we have it, ladies and gents. A nice, beautiful flight down to Toronto, Ontario from Montreal. Sitting here at Fly Tampa's Toronto International. We are flying the aircraft from Toronto to Winnipeg next. That flight is about 2 hours long. Stay tuned for that one. That should be pretty fun. And we are arriving into FlightSim Studios, Winnipeg. So initially I did a flight to Winnipeg, and it was with sim add-ons, but I have since gotten rid of that one to make room for FlightSim Studios version of it. I find it better in my opinion, so that's where we're headed. From there, from Winnipeg, I believe we are going to Calgary, so stay tuned for that, ladies and gents. Thanks again for coming out to support me today on this flight, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Have a good week, ladies and gents. Peace!